ordered a ton of parts from a E28, E24. It's for a sunroof cassette. Just almost all of the parts, actually. The wind deflector, that's too big because the sunroof is actually larger than the E30 is. The only thing I actually did need, and these are these side mounting rails for the sunroof. These are all plastic. These are just captured nuts in the plastic. So obviously these will just spin and then they break, and then that's why I had to snap these out to get the sunroof off. The motor is in, tied up all the wires, and this is all clean and good to go. Got our button in. Oh, I gotta fix this. I forgot I broke this. I'm gonna go to our trusty part bin. I have this one. I also didn't realize I had a window motor in here. I'm such a dummy. And I bought another one. They don't make this motor anymore, and this is like $300, right? If anyone needs ones, hit me up, but let me know. Well, I spent the entire day just doing this. It's max tilt. Then it goes back. There were so many problems. Part of the sunroof cassette, these are the guide rails. These, and then it has the cable that goes inside these brass little tubes here, and then connects to the gearing for the motor, and then spins, and the entire thing will spin. Hence, we'll move this back and forth, right? I'll have sunroof grease specifically, but this liquid moly lifetime grease or lifelong grease, that's perfect. It will work perfect for this. And then I also use some WD-40 stuff that's not going to attract dirt necessarily. So I used a combination of both. That still wasn't enough. So I took everything out, and you'll see in the video, I pulled all of the cabling out of the tubes, compressed air and everything, pulled, like just shot everything out, cleaned everything, then put WD-40 in, so lubricated all of the channels. I don't know how long it's been since this hasn't worked. Probably 10 years. I have to bet it's been so long. So that, and then once I pulled everything up, I greased every single moving component, everything that has frictional surface, that's all been touched with the grease. And then on top of that, did it a second time after I put everything back together. Still wouldn't have full movement. You'd still have to touch it a little bit, and that's obviously not going to work if you're in the car and you're trying to move the sunroof. You can't have any sort of physical contact. So did it again, did it a second time, cleaned it again, moved it, and then put it through about 100 rotations or cycles of it moving back and forth. It's very common for people to just do sunroof deletes. They sell kits cheap online, and you can just put a panel on top of it, rivet it or weld it in, and just Bondo on top of it or whatever. But that's not how this car was made, and this is a 325 IS. And the other thing I have to still buy is the wind guard. This little tiny plastic piece that holds the spring in, that broke. The other one that I was expecting to get in the kit, that's for the E28 and the E24. That is too big, it doesn't fit this size. I was hoping that it would be the same parts. Seems as these are all the same. This is from the E24, E28 model cars, and I just swapped all these components over. I kept everything the same, so it just created such a mess. There's just like lubricant everywhere. Like, hey guys, I'm coming at you from the future. So the end of this video, I was not able to finish the sunroof. I put the panel on top, but it didn't tilt or go back because of the weight of that sunroof panel. It's quite heavy. So everything worked without that panel on. it would tilt, it would go back, just the mechanism itself. But as soon as I put the panel on, nothing would work. I would have to push it up or have to give it some physical contact for that to work, which didn't make any sense. I was like, everything worked prior, and I essentially worked all the way backwards to see what happened, what went wrong, and I started to disassemble everything. So I stopped. It took me several days to go ahead, and I started researching. I went back on the E30 forums and I was like, what else is wrong? Because all of my internal components are working, all of the mechanisms are working. And I'm like, is the motor underpowered? Was I having a voltage issue? I put the car on a battery tender. I have a battery tender to make sure, like, as if the car was running. I had none of those issues, and I will show you in the next video what I actually discovered and what the problem was.